And it's now time to join Renee with today's 11 a.m. show.
For Wednesday, November 11th, this is 11 a.m. Good morning and welcome to another edition of 11 a.m. I'm Renee Newhouse. What does our lineup consist of today? Well, if you have some questions or comments regarding programming or news for that matter seen on channels 2 and 7, you'll have the perfect opportunity to speak out and give us some feedback, because our phone-in segment at 1/2 the hour will be completely devoted to this. So if you're wondering what makes an item newsworthy or why certain programs air, give us a call when we open the lines. And welcome back to 11 a.m. Joining us on set, Kendall Gibson, who's the Operation and Program Manager here at the station, as well with Terry Harrison, who's the Promotions Manager. And the last time I had both of you on the program, we were talking about fall programming, and we've implemented some new programs here at the station. How have they been received so far?
Very well, but we're not going to talk about that in this segment. Okay. This segment is going to be a bit of a surprise to Renee. She has no idea what we're going to do, and there's a couple of reasons that we're going to do what we're going to do. Renee prepares for every show for hours and hours. She researches everything. She goes to a lot of work getting to know her guests. She's very good that way. Yep. But sometimes I think it lacks spontaneity.
Sure, so we're going to teach her spontaneity.
Exactly. And so if you look at Renee's face right now, she has no idea what we're going to do. Also, Renee, sitting here on set, has no idea what goes on behind the scenes.
As do most of our viewers at home. I mean, they just see Renee's face. They don't realize who's working behind her to support her.
The cameras here, up in videotape, up in production control, all the things that are going on. So, actually, without spending too much time, Renee, if you just unhook your mic there, and I'll take yours.
I'm doing this because it's my boss.
And we have another mic now. Hopefully it's hooked up.
I think so.
And Renee, you and Terry, I'm going to sit here and relax for this first segment, and Terry is going to take you and the viewers on a tour of the behind the scenes and what goes on during Renee's show.
All right.
The very first shot you'll probably see would be one of the cameras. And Terry, take it away. It's all yours. I'm going to relax.
Okay, Renee, come with me. Now, just to clarify, Renee has no idea this was taking place. She knew something was up because, well, you know, she knew something was up. But we set it all up with the behind-the-scenes crew, and it's our opportunity to let her and you at the same time find out what goes on behind the scenes at 11 a.m. Okay. So come with me. Okay. Now, I was talking to Bob Johnson, our general manager, a little earlier. He said they used to do this all the time when the guests didn't show up. But we're coming around the corner now. There we go. See, we've just passed Maria, who's working camera number 2, and Len. Len's there behind the scenes on camera number 1. So, moving right along.
I'm giving you dirty looks right now, Terry.
Oh, come on, it'll be fun. Now we've got Bob. Bob's working the roving camera. This is sort of a Letterman-esque sort of things, don't you think? Kidding. And Steve's our grip today, so we can't exactly meet them because they are behind the camera, but we know they're there. So, around the corner. Let's sort of move into the heartbeat of the 11 a.m. and any other live programming we have too. Now, of course, Renee, you know all these folks, right?
Definitely.
Right, you have coffee with them in the morning, pre-production meetings. But because you're down on the set, you don't actually see what's happening up here. Now, you probably had an idea there was this many people in the control room.
Yes.
Do you think your viewers do? Do you think they have a sense?
Probably not, because quite often we get phone calls after the show, people mentioning various aspects. And no, to answer your question, I don't think they do.
Right. Yeah, I think I'd agree with you. Any of the tours that I do with live people as opposed to a live camera, they are very surprised at the amount of people it takes to put on a program like 11 a.m. So let's introduce you to some of the folks. Over there, calling the shots, is our director, James Buck.
You got 5 minutes, Renee.
Okay.
So when he's got the headsets on. That means he's talking to Len down at the studio, who gives cues to Rini. So it's a really elaborate communication system.
Definitely.
Over on the audio board is Ron Wick.
Hi guys.
Hey, Ron. And our Chiron graphics artist person is Winona today.
Now move away. Here we go.
That'd be the back of Winona's head you've just been introduced to. And over doing the shading and the engineering technical aspects of things is our engineer, Larry. So this is it. This is where it all sort of happens.
And Kendall's enjoying himself.
Yeah, look, there he is. Yeah, this was pretty much his brainchild, so there you go. Now, one of the things that the director does, of course, and the entire crew up here is bring all the elements together. So when you throw to a feature like Getting Better.
Yes,
Yeah.
or one of the pre-produced like we just saw.
Right, right, exactly. One of those is on videotape. If something's coming live from the studio, it's up on one of those monitors as well. Or, of course, commercials are run through the beta card system. So we're going to sort of double back a bit and take a look at where some of those elements begin. So let's move this way. Okay. First, we'll move back to the VTR room. Of course, one of my quiz questions for any tour I'm doing is, what does VTR stand for?
Video tape. What's the recording?
Yeah,
there we
that's
go.
right. So any of the features are up on one of those machines, either recording or playing back. We also record some of our elements from Calgary, and that's what's playing right there. We got video machines of all sizes and shapes. 3/4 inch, beta card, 1 inch, and of course the good old standard VHS. So there you have it. Looks kind of impressive, doesn't it?
It does, definitely. You bet.
Okay, let's move this way. So master control. Now there's no one in master right now. That's because the way we're set up with 11 a.m. is it's a live program, and so the commercials are run out of control room. But during the rest of the day, this is where the actual commercials are chosen. Basically, they're queued up, and the master control operator is the master. He determines, or she determines, which commercials go to air when, and which programs start and end, all the segments, lengths, and that kind of thing. Now you'll notice this is kind of a small little room, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's because we're in transition. So let's move through and take a look at where that transition is leading to.
Okay.
Okay.
Take it away, Terry.
Now we've talked a bit about.
Hi,
Gotta put some news
Gord,
items in here.
one of our news directors. Yay, Gord! Don't you love live television, especially
it's great.
unplanned?
It's great.
Okay.
Do you mind if I just sneak by
Yeah, you
and
sneak
put some
right by.
items
Now, before we move on to the other master control room, I just want you to take a look over at Ace Editing. Who are those fine folks in there?
Okay, George, he is another director of 11 a.m., so we kind of jump
Trade
back.
duties,
You
yeah.
bet, you bet.
And he's in there with one of the commercial producers. And that's our post-production unit. So the role it plays in 11 a.m. would be preparing any of the pre-produced items. That might be one of the segments that you've talked about.
That's
or
right.
the opening and closing of the program, for example. That's
Definitely.
all pre-produced in there. So, okay, where were we off to now?
The new master control.
Right, okay. It's a pretty skinny little, narrow little brighter in here. This is the beta cart machine, and it's linked to the master control in the way that it runs the commercials. They cue that all up. Some of those buttons we saw in master control cues all the commercials. Each of those tapes is a commercial.
1 minute.
Oh, we got 1 minute. Let's quickly move into the last segment, the new master control suite. Is it going to be nice? And are the master control operators ever pleased to be here? Of course, the equipment is state-of-the-art. And it's going to be very efficient and just really improve their quality of work. I have no doubt. And one thing that's nice about it is it puts them more in the center of the building.
Definitely.
Because if you look out around here, that's where the offices are. All these technical aspects that we've just taken a look at are very important, but so are the support areas.
30 seconds.
Oh, we got 30
30
seconds.
seconds,
Okay,
30 seconds.
let's move right on back in the control room.
Time talks, time talks.
It sure does. Now, you're usually getting these cues via sort of hidden messages from Len, right?
You bet.
So it's a little different just having someone shout at us over our shoulders. So now they're doing some last-minute hustle and bustle with the news update. Do you know what our next segment is?
We go to a commercial, and when we come back, Ian McDonald steps in with the morning news.
Okay, that would explain why Gord's doing some of that news stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Again, two different departments working together. because we haven't seen a lot of the news because they're in a different part of the building and our cables just don't reach that far. So there you go.
Hey, Rainey, time to go to break.
Okay, so at this point we have to turn our attention to a quick commercial break. Coming back to the morning news with Ian McDonald. Stay with us.